Jump off that exhausting hamster wheel and into balanced living with Dr. Marissa.
Promise you joy in the mystery.
Dr. Marissa, also known as the Asian Oprah. Her mission, to be a beneficial presence on the planet. Her purpose, to be your personal advocate to live, laugh, love, learn. Her life motto, don't die wondering. Take back your life with Dr. Marissa Pei.
And welcome. You are tuned in to my weekly syndicated talk radio TV show called Take My Advice. I'm not using it. Get balanced with Dr. Marissa every Tuesday at naturally high noon, broadcasting out of Sunset Gower Studios, where Scandal and Murder, She Wrote are filmed, with UBN Radio TV, Universal Broadcasting Network, and then every Saturday at 2 with my syndicated CNBC NBC News Radio channel, KCAA, AM 1050, FM 102.3, and FM 106.5, and anytime and everywhere on iHeartRadio, Stitcher, TuneIn, and all the rest of them, because I want to splatter you with more hope and happiness. So there's no gossip, no scandal, no K-words on this show, no Kardashian talk at all. No T words either, actually, now that I think about it. So I want you to focus on your own reality show and how you can be happy 88% of the time. So if you missed any of the great shows that I've had in the last 338 consecutive weeks on the air, including not one but two people from Happy Days, not only Potsy, but Marion Ross. She came here when she was 89 years young. Unbelievable. So if you missed any of those shows, as well as Rick O'Barry, who was who's the leading dolphin activist. You may recognize him from The Cove. That's also on my YouTube. Most of my past shows, as soon as we got cameras in the studio, are there. So make sure you go listen to them. If you missed last week, Ron Klein, amazing. Another octogenarian who's not retiring because why bother? The inventor of the magnetic strip on the back of your credit card, and so much more. So go to YouTube, grab those shows, watch them, do a free subscribe, help me out, and enjoy. And as per usual, I am going to start with some peace in and... I know what I forgot to do. Just a deep breath in with me to... just comfort and peace to the family of Charlotte Ray, who passed a little bit ago. She was on the show a year ago, actually, with Fran Drescher. I think it was this week. So we just wanted to recognize, you may remember her from Different Strokes, Facts of Life. You'll get her wonderful, wonderful show on my YouTube. All right, peace in and peace out. Shout outs. This has been one heck of a week. I would have never guessed last week when I was on the air, had a great show, went home, went to a movie with my girlfriend, great movie, The Star is Born, and then sushi, and then I get that call that no mother wants to get from the state trooper in Tompkins County in New York. My daughter was in a horrific incredible accident, swerved to miss the car. She rolled the guy who took the tow guy. I'm sorry. I'm like, he said that it looked like the Jeep turned over at least 12 times. The sheriff said 3 or 4 times. And amazingly enough, she pulled herself out, walked to a house. The occupants found her flat on her back, unconscious, and called the ambulance. The sheriff called me. I almost hung up on him. I had no idea, no caller ID. Flew out to New York, slept by her side, and miracle of all miracles, for 4 days waiting for the test. No brain bleed, no brain bruising. She did fracture her C6, which just means she only has to have a hard brace for 6 weeks and a broken wrist. That's a miracle, and I know that partially because I had over 1,200 people on Facebook and Instagram praying and just staying, really holding the high watch. And I'm so grateful. First person I texted was my big brother, Michael Bernard Beckwith. He covered everything was, and I just knew she was going to be okay. So I am grateful. It's not even a week and I'm here. I just flew in last night. I wanted to come back and bring my guest on today, but I did want to give a shout out to a couple of people. The nurses at UHS were unbelievable. Ashley, Carly, and Kelly, and Marie, the PT, as well as Marianne and Jamal at Delta. I messed up 3 different tickets because I was so discombobulated. Enterprise Rent-A-Car that rented my daughter the Jeep. Jeep itself, that's incredible. She had the accident in New York, which is a no-fault state. I had no idea. So they cover up to $50,000 in medical expenses, which is another miracle. There's so many. Let's see. Where is 405 parking at LAX as well as World Market. And then there is someone, here it is, Roy at the Ithaca Farmers Market. His young daughter had cancer at 18 and she's now 21. Also, celebrating life, and all my daughter's friends. It's just the Cornell football team sent flowers. It was just unbelievable. So there's so many silver linings that I am now wearing as a full silver jacket, and it's reversible. And I'm so grateful. Thank you to all of you. I know that you're tuned in now because I told you I'd thank you. But without further ado, I want to keep going now and just read to you a little bio of someone who's coming on today. I can't think of a better person to celebrate life with as he celebrates his grandfather. Marc Demetriou is a nationally recognized mortgage banker, best-selling author, and top-rated speaker. Marc has spoken at dozens of events, including the Mastermind Summit, featuring world-renowned motivational speakers Tony Robbins and Barbara Corcoran from ABC's television Shark Tank. As an authority on real estate and finance, Demetriou has been quoted in articles in the New York Times, Huffington Post, Reuters, the Associated Press, and many other local and national publications and media outlets. His grandfather's hard work and success inspired him to write his best-selling book, Lessons from My Grandfather, Wisdom for Success in Business and Life, and he strongly believes that success, like happiness for me, is a choice. More information about Marc and his book are available at his website as well as grandfatherlessons.com. He's on Instagram, Facebook, everywhere, but right now he is in my studio by Zoom from New Jersey. Please welcome Marc Demetriou.
Hello, that was a wonderful introduction. Thank you so much. Appreciate it. Thanks for the applause. Thank you.
I know, doesn't it make you feel special?
I love it.
So, Marc, welcome. And you have an award-winning book. It's not just a new book. You've won the LA Book Festival, the San Francisco Book Festival. That's awesome. You've got an endorsement here from Barbara Corcoran, founder and investor on ABC's Emmy Award-winning show Shark Tank. Marc Demetriou has written a superb success guide, unlike any other, based on 15 universal principles. Lessons from My Grandfather will help you achieve the success you deserve in life and business. So, as I usually do, I'd like you to take a breath with me and go backwards, and I want you to just give me your favorite memory of your grandfather that you may or may not cover in your book, but just obviously he's a person that was extremely important to you. So give me one of those early memories so that we get to know him, not just as the subject of your book.
Thank you for that. There's so many. Just a couple of little ones until we dig into the book. Just the individual that he was, the joyfulness in this person, this human being, and the hardships that he went through in life. He never, ever, ever once talked about negative things, or never talked about things in the past. Always about bright things, always about being happy. This is the kind of guy that every meal he ever ate, he would literally say, "This is the best meal I ever had." It was always like a running joke with us.
I like
every meal he ever had, at dinner, wherever we were, like he'd just say, "This is the best meal I ever had." Like he just enjoyed life.
That's
and I remember
awesome.
my whole life just that instilling that wisdom in me, and that joyfulness was something I always just thought about, and always loved being around him for that reason alone. That's just one of many things.
Beautiful. And he lived his life in Greece until he came over to Ellis Island, correct?
Actually, he was in Cyprus.
Cyprus?
He left Cyprus at 16 years old and was in Greece for 2 years, then London, and came to America in 1929.
Wow.
Actually, literally 3 weeks after the stock market crash, which couldn't have been a worse time to come. But that's when
Wow.
he was 20
Wow.
years old. Yes.
Wow. So he worked hard, yeah? He
Yeah.
wanted the American dream. So he had how many kids?
So he had two daughters, my mother and my aunt, and he was the epitome of working hard. This is a gentleman that hit the streets, shining shoes is his first job. And when you ask for something else that really was instilled in me as far as his mantras in life and really just some wisdom, was that the most powerful thing he probably ever said to me was this: that when he was finally working and even shining shoes, he honored the labor and the opportunity to make a living and to show people what he was worth and what he can do. And he took pride in shining shoes, and people loved him for that. He did a great job. He was joyful. He was happy. They'd come back and see him. He built a little business for himself just from being who he was. And he realized at a young age, he realized a secret. He's like, I think I got this. Be a good person, be likable, do a good job, work hard, and think of others, which meaning doing the job you're doing, and you'll be okay. And he really started from that groundwork, and really always hit me hard to remember that one simple statement he made.
So he would you like sit at his feet, and that's basically how you learn things from him, or?
Yeah. So ironically, he retired at 60, a millionaire. So go figure, from the shining shoes to that.
There you go.
And it's a good story. Good story
Beautiful.
in itself.
Yeah.
And so when he retired, I was literally born around the same time, ironically. So for 37 years of my life, we were literally best friends. He was retired, so he was always with us and always talking to me about life and about business, about his wisdom and his hardships and his trials and tribulations and how he overcame objections in life. And so it was always just learning from him all the time. He loved to talk. We had happy hour at his house like every day. Like, coming over for happy hour? Like, okay, I'll be there.
That's funny. That's funny. So did you were you always listening to him, or did you rebel at all?
No, I always listened. I was very fortunate and blessed to have very, very good parents. So they were also mentors in a way, but my grandfather was the biggest mentor. But no, always just positive information, always good stuff. This is a man that would literally read 3 papers a day in his retirement. He would clip out or cut out any articles that could relate to me in life: business, success, family, money, hardworking, anything about health. He would cut them out. And when he was here in Jersey 6 months or in Florida 6 months, he would literally save them for me or mail them to me. Every day he was thinking of how to make me a better person. So that's what it was all about.
How cool. Are you the only grandson?
I am. I'm the middle child. My brother's older and my sister's younger, and there were 2 other nieces. But I was like the son he never had. He always thought of me as the son he never had. We were a really, really close bond. And he loved all his grandkids, though, equally.
Wonderful. Wonderful. And if you've just tuned in and you're wondering who I get to talk to today, it is the author of Lessons from My Grandfather, Marc Demetriou, and we're talking about success principles today. So it's a business show today. If you would like to be more successful, then you're tuned in to the right place. You are listening to Take My Advice. I'm Not Using It. Get Balanced with Dr. Marissa and Marc. So let's just dive in now. For anyone who is, let's say who's working and they're getting a little discouraged at what they're doing. What are some common mistakes that people make that this how-to book will help with?
See, I think the biggest thing in life, you have to have almost a self-reflection of yourself. I tell people to look yourself in the mirror and take stake of where you are in your life. Are you happy where you are in your life? Are you doing what you want to do? Are you impacting people the right way? Are you being a good person? It really comes down to self-awareness. And that's what this book talks about a lot as well. You look, some of the lessons I have in there from my grandfather, and there's a lot of information, but one, attitude is everything. Be joyful, be resilient, be awake and alive to the suffering of others, be humble. These are all wonderful, self-motivating, fulfilling ideologies about how you are as a person. So when you look at where you are in your life and really think about what are you doing to put out there? Are you working hard in your marriage or your family life or you're as a parent or your career? It's really up to you how you want to excel. I tell people, and in this book really as well, is what you do with your life every minute of the day is up to you. And I think if you take stake of where you are, if you're in a career you're not happy with or your job you're not happy with, are you excelling enough? Are you doing enough to get that promotion? Are you really committed to the job? Do you show passion? passion and purpose are two powerful words that they play out in life. So, I mean, I can go on for an hour about this kind of stuff.
Yeah, so I'm going to
some of
play
it.
I'm going to play devil's advocate then for
Yeah.
a second, because that's easy for you to say. You're very successful. You've got money, you've got status, you've got a best-selling an award-winning book right now. So like for the people, let's just put the moose on the table, which is my Canadian version of the elephant in the room. Those people who voted this last time about how unhappy they are in America because they hate their job. They're not making enough money just to stay above poverty line. They try to keep a good attitude. They can't afford health care. They can't afford this. Their kids are on drugs. Their parents are dying. How do you talk to them about keeping a good attitude when they're doing that and nothing's happening? They can't seem to get out of that hole.
Well, you know what? I'm going to play this back to the fact that my grandfather left home at 16 years old with not a dime in his pocket, okay, because he was poor and he wanted to make something of himself and be something in life. So he got on a vessel ship in the middle of the night without telling his parents, because he would know they would not let him go or he couldn't face leaving them. But his father found out he was going and gave him the blessing on the boat dock that day. But the moral of the story is, what I always felt in my heart was, if this man can make it in life, and he was on that boat in the ship by himself for the first time ever, scared as hell, and thinking about, what did I do just now? Will I make it in life? And how many times he almost didn't make it, and on food lines. So life is hard. Life is difficult. There'll be setbacks. There'll be financial setbacks. There'll be tragedies. You have to be able to overcome and move forward. He always told me, never stop moving forward in the direction of your dreams. You have to have dreams and goals, and then you work hard and day and night to get there. So yes, all these problems are real. People have all these problems, and everyone has some of these, or some of them may have all of these.
Mm-hmm.
But you have to take stake at one at a time. I tell people, take separate buckets. Each one's a separate bucket.
Mm-hmm.
How can I fix this bucket right now?
Mm-hmm.
Family, my marriage, my relationship, my job, my kids' relationship I have with them, whatever it is, take each one separately, one at a time, not all of them at the same time, and figure out, what can I do?
Mm-hmm.
And I can, without doing it on this show, I can break apart each one by one.
Mm-hmm.
You want to be healthy? Okay, eat healthy and go exercise. You want to do better at work and get a raise? Then work hard at work or change
Mm-hmm.
careers, something you're more passionate about.
Mm-hmm.
I can break down all of these, and life is hard, and we all have to know that. And always keeping in mind what my grandfather went through. I always said, I will never fail. And I've been working since 11 years old as a paper route. I didn't have a silver spoon in my mouth, so
Mm-hmm.
trust me.
Yeah.
But I always had the attitude, and this may sound crazy, that I would shovel horse manure in a circus if I had to survive. I always had that in my mind, as something crazy, because my grandfather did the bottom tier of life, and he never thought he was beneath anybody.
Yeah. And now I'm going to go to the other side and join you, because I do hear from people who say, I've tried and it just doesn't work, or I'm not going to do that. I've tried that. I don't want to do that, or I don't like that. And it's like, oh, well, that kind of explains why you're where you are, because you say that you're unhappy and then you are given impulses or opportunities to do something and you say no.
Right, exactly.
So it's like, okay, then take responsibility for where you are, at least partially.
Absolutely.
And that's your self-awareness piece. So that's great.
Now, hard work. These words don't come easy. Ready? Hard work, dedication, sacrifice, willingness. Okay, these are words that just, they don't just come up and say, okay, life will be easy. Life will be hard.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of times.
Mm-hmm. Not all the time.
Not one of my favorite quotes. Yeah, say it again.
Not all the time.
Yeah, not all the time. But Les Brown has one of my most favorite quotes. If you do what is easy in life, life will be hard. If you do what is hard in life, life will be easy. And that's a powerful quote. And these are words to live by.
Yeah.
And, people like to complain, but this is really a matter of, what do you want to do about it? What do you want to do with your time? What do you want your life to be? So yeah, we're on the same page with this. I can go both sides with it.
Yeah, for sure. So was that one of the 15?
So, attitude is everything is one of my most powerful 15 lessons.
Okay.
And that word itself plays into everything in life. Everything.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah. I had a
You break
friend
that down to everything.
Yeah, I had a friend, Larry Wilkes, who had a stroke, and so he went from like golfing every day and enjoying life to being in a wheelchair. And when anybody would ever say to him, it must be difficult with a handicap, he would like turn and look at you in the eye and say, the only handicap in life is a bad attitude.
Right. I love it. Right. I
Yeah,
love it.
I
It's
love
true.
him.
And the other simpler ones, be joyful, which is
Mm-hmm.
again, just be joyful, enjoy life, take stake where you are, be grateful. Tony Robbins is big on saying, wake up everyone and be grateful for what you have. Find something to be grateful for every single day.
Yeah.
There's mind, body, and soul. And, people just aren't connected and aren't in tune with their mind, body, and soul. And it's deep stuff.
Right. Right.
And there's just so many, again, be awake and alive to the suffering of others was a very big, powerful one. He helped so many people in his life get jobs who were having hardships. He sent money back always to his family in Cyprus all the years he was working here.
Okay. So
These are just
you're
the
a
good news.
you're a fast talker. So I'm going to have you repeat that one again, because I don't want people to miss that. So the second one you were saying is?
Yeah. So be awake and alive to the suffering of others.
Be awake I think it's your Jersey accent, actually.
Yeah, there you
So
go.
be awake and alive to the suffering of others. So
Right,
instead of
right.
being selfishly self-centered and oh, poor me, open
Right.
your eyes to how other people are suffering around you.
Right. Be aware to help others. Just be there to help others, lending a hand, whether it's charitable or non-charitable, just be aware of others around you, wherever it may be, wherever you could help, lend a helping hand.
Mm-hmm.
It's powerful and it goes from all levels of life.
Right. So I'm going to flip it a little bit for a second and ask you, we're both motivational speakers. We both, try to encourage people. We have things that we say, and mine's take my advice. I'm not always using it. Do you ever have days when you I don't feel like practicing what I teach? And then if you do, and if you're honest, how do you get out of that?
Everyone has their days, I guess. Overall, they're just, not feeling themselves.
Yeah.
I have to be really honest. I truly wake up pretty happy every day and I start my day and I just keep grinding. I think I have my grandfather's sickness because he never was complaining ever in his life, ever. I never heard him complain once, ever.
Right.
This man was in World War II. He was in all sorts of things up and down, but never complained.
Yeah.
It was amazing to me. So people have asked me a lot of times on TV or radio and just, do you ever have a bad day? How do you handle it? And I got to be honest. I mean, I've been through my hardships in life and everyone has, but I have the ability to just move forward and not think about the past. But I think ultimately just staying focused on the day at hand and being busy. So I think I can't say any one thing about how I handle any hardships or anything that's been able to set me back. I think I just keep moving forward.
Well, I think that's exactly what you do. So what you just said is you don't focus on the bad that has happened, the setback. You focus on the forward. So I don't want to let that one go real quick because I think that's a quality that's super important for people who want to be successful. Was it Ron Klein last week said, there's no such thing as failure. It's called learning.
Right.
I agree.
So
I think that's an important point I didn't want to skip over. That was brilliant of you.
Right. Well, thank you.
All right. So let's go to number 3.
As far as be humble. I mentioned, persevere. He talked about always persevering and moving forward. These are some of the lessons that he would go into that he would talk about, no matter what. And I'm molding some of these together, but another was, believe in yourself.
Mm-hmm.
These are all common themes, to believe in who you are. You have to be happy with who you are and believe in who you are. He was somebody that didn't like phonies. He would tell me all the time, I couldn't stand phonies, be who you are. He never thought he was above or beneath anybody in life. And he truly always told me that. He goes, when I was shining shoes, I did not think I was beneath these people. These were people I was working with and I was doing a job for them.
Mm-hmm.
And even when I was successful in life and running operations, never thought I was above anybody. And here's a guy that would always tip the hostess and the bartender and the waiter and the busboy a little dollar here and there. He was always one to make someone feel wanted or that he was grateful for their service. This is, again, just such great qualities to be around. And that's why I wrote this book, because I wanted to share this mentor with the world. It was what a gift I had in my life. What an advantage I had to have him in my life.
Right,
it truly was.
Right. Now let's break down humility for a second, because I think this is, especially with all the social media that is around now and, the balance between when you talk about how to do things or you teach people, there's an automatic, you are telling people what to do. I mean, that's a normal reaction that some people could have that could be interpreted as not humble, or you're not in your humility. I've been told, well, who are you? Like, why do you're not all that? So how do you balance that out with the tip you just gave around being humble?
That's a great question. I love everything you just said, because that really is very important for people to understand.
Yes.
There's a difference between being humble, being obnoxious, being conceited, and thinking you're better than anybody else. The people that act like they're better than anybody else and have no money and still act like they do, and then when they have the money, they act like that the same way. Well, shame on those people, because they're missing life and what it's all about.
Right.
I think the ability to be confident, this is important, be confident of who you are at any age. I've trained hundreds of careers to successful salespeople at 21 to all ages. I don't care about their age. I always told them, I don't care about your age. It's how you carry yourself. How you carry yourself. When you walk in a meeting and you walk out, people say, that's a really sharp young man, a sharp young lady. They're not going to ask your age, or how long you've been doing this for. So what I tell people is, you can be confident at what you do in life, at anything you do, and do it to the best of your ability. I'm all about being excellent at what you do in life, no matter what it is.
Right.
If it's shoveling snow as a person shoveling driveways, or in your career. But the difference is, people can see right through you if you have an agenda, if it's all about the money, if you have your cockiness. Just be who you are. Be yourself. Don't try to be someone you're not. And you go through life and realize, it's not about money and about fame and glory, success. Just be who you are. People love you for that. And if people got that message, the world will be a better place. People will be happier.
Right.
Instead of being someone you're not, or chasing someone else's dream. They're your dreams. They're your goals. Have your own. Don't chase someone else's.
Yeah. So what about people who don't like who they are?
Well, then that's where you get self-reflection. You got to have self-improvement. You got to break it down. I tell people, and this is a simple task, and I mean it. I wish everyone today or tomorrow or tonight would wake up and go in the mirror by themselves, lock the door, and look themselves in the mirror and say, am I where I want to be in life? Am I happy with myself? Am I doing things to help others? Am I doing things to help myself? You could have 15 questions for yourself, and you can change all of these areas one by one. You don't want to change everything and stop what you're doing in one day. You can't do it. But you can have improvement on every one of these areas in your life, everyone. So it is very simple, but it's very hard as well. And it takes time and sacrifice.
Yeah,
wake up an hour earlier, go to bed an hour late, and work on improving yourself. Read self-improvement books, listen to motivational videos, go on YouTube and listen to thousands of hours of them. I do all the time. When I'm in the gym, that's what I listen to. It's all about improving myself. And when you're someone that has an open mind, this is another powerful one. I missed this. Is very important. My grandfather said, you can learn from everybody in life. Everybody has something to teach you. And he meant that, whether it's a man on the street or a bird or a person successful, listen to everybody, keep your mind open, and don't say you know everything, and let them finish what they're saying. Even if you know it, they may tell you a different ending. So there's a way to absorb life. And I'm someone that's learned from that. I love to be critiqued, in quotes, criticism that's worthy of criticism, to make myself a better person. Some criticism is not worth listening to, and that's fine. That's life.
How do you distinguish between those two?
Well, it's important. Well, you look at what's valuable. Well, if you're honest with yourself, and you all should be, to be excellent at what you are, who you are, but you take everyone's criticism for what it's worth, and whether some of it's just truly criticism, that's okay. But if you think it's self-reflection and say, you know what, he or she's right, I probably can improve myself in that area, or maybe they're right about that. That's quiet time again, to reflect on what was said. No one wants to be criticized for anything.
Yeah.
But I think if you take it for what it's worth, that's the universe's way of saying, hey, buddy, here's something. Hey, gal, here's something to listen to. And if it's worthy, that's fine. But a lot of times you may not have stuff that's worthy, and just pass it along.
Yeah.
But if I hear from the outside, sure, I want to take it in to improve myself, of course.
I have a rule. If 3 people say the same thing, that's probably something you should look at.
I would agree with that one.
That's my rule of 3. Beautiful,
100%.
Beautiful. So, is your grandfather still with us on this side?
No, so he passed when he was 97, like I said, when I was 37, about 11 years ago, 12 years ago, excuse me. So he again had a great life, a great run, and for 37 years, this man lived, in a great retirement, had a lot of fun, was with his family all the time. And, I'll tell you some other simple, humble stories about this man. I would say to him at times, you have a humble place here in New Jersey, a very modest place in Florida. You can do so much more with your life and travel the world and spend money and have more fun. And, he said something very serious to me. And this is for all the people out there the way I live my life, I like to live below my means. So that, and this is why, this is a message from him. He said, Mark, when you've been without in your life like I have been, and not knowing sometimes where your next meal was coming from, or if I'd survived through the night or week sometimes, at a very young age, being here with nothing in New York, I'd rather have that money in the bank to know it's there and the safety of that, because you never want to be without again. And that was such a powerful statement for me to hear from him, that from that point, he said to me after, you want to learn to live below your means and you'll beat the rat race. This life is crazy and everyone's out to make money and live them and spend their money and have success, but that's not success. And in my book, I have a chapter about success. Success isn't money and fame and glory. Success is different for everybody. What do you want out of life? What's successful to you? Having a family and a dog and a white picket fence, a couple of kids, one vacation a year, not working too hard. That's success to some people. Some people want to plane in a yacht. That's fine too. But you got to determine what you want in life. And this is all the part, again, about self-reflection. What do you want in life? It's very powerful. And I've always taken this to heart. And you can see why this mentor to me is something I want to share.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And I'm getting the signal that we need to break to thank the sponsors of this show to make this show possible. But we will be right back in 2 and 2 with Marc Demetriou and lessons from his grandfather. We'll be back. Peace in and peace out. Okay, jazz lovers, it's time to celebrate with a Catalina Island weekend getaway with jazz greats like Richard Elliott, Keiko Matsui, Dan Siegel, Peter White, and Baja. Don't miss the 32nd Jazz Tracks Festival at the beautiful Avalon Casino on Catalina Island, 2 weekends in October, 11th to the 14th and 18th through the 21st. Tickets are selling out fast, so go to jazztracks.com. That's jazztracks with an X.com today. Is success a choice? Find out in the new book, Lessons from My Grandfather, Wisdom for Success in Business and Life, written by award-winning and nationally recognized mortgage banker, speaker, and author Marc Demetriou. An Ellis Island immigrant, Marc's grandfather Charlie hands down 15 valuable how-to principles for success so you too can benefit from an American dream come true. Get your copy from Amazon today. And we're back. You are tuned in to my weekly talk radio show called Take My Advice. I'm not using it. Get balanced with Dr. Marissa every Tuesday at naturally high noon out of the Sunset Gower Studios in Hollywood, California, with UBN Radio TV, Universal Broadcasting Radio TV, and every Saturday at 2 on my syndicated CNBC, NBC News Radio channel, KCAA, AM 1050, FM 106.5, FM 102.3, and everywhere that iHeartRadio is. And if you want to join me this weekend, one of our show sponsors, jazztracks.com. It's the second weekend. I believe there's still some spots available for Sunday. Congratulations to all of my Asian Oprah giveaway winners on that. I'll see you on the island this weekend as well. You'll want to pick up Lessons from My Grandfather book that Marc Demetriou has is introducing to us today. I'm sorry, I think I'm still in a little bit of jet lag from New York, but you can buy this book actually not just at Amazon, correct, Marc? You can get it on your website.
Yeah. There's different purchase options, whether it's Kindle or Nook or hard copy. MarcDemetriou.com is my site, but going on Amazon is an easy, quick way to get it as well.
Beautiful. And it is, let's see, organized in a very nice how-to way. So this is a book great for the holidays. If you have anybody who's working towards being more successful in business or being more successful for themselves, it's a great self-help book as well. Yes?
Yes, absolutely. I mean, the way it was written was all these messages really purposely to, basically empower, motivate, and inspire people to live a good life, to be more successful in life and in business. So it's just there's a lot in here for everybody from 16 to 100. Everyone can get something out of it.
Beautiful, beautiful. Did you ever feel him as you were writing? Did you feel like he was like writing through you?
It's funny you say that because, I know there's no question in my life that he's watching over me. He's with me all the time. We were so close. And, the epiphany I had one day to, this was years after he passed away, probably about 9 years after he passed away, to want to write this book, write his message, write his story and share him with the world.
Right.
Because I basically was just to the point where I said, it's a shame this man's no longer on this earth. He was such a wonderful person.
Right.
I want to share him with the world, So
Did
I
he
do feel
know?
he was with me at times writing it, and still at times today.
Yeah. Did he know you were going to write this, like before he died?
Not the
Or
full book. I
transition?
actually had someone early on years ago write a little little memoir about him. Interviewed him for a couple hours about just some of his stories. But I
Uh-huh.
had all most of those stories down anyway. So I had
Right.
put together something little that I was going to share with the family for Christmas. Never really finished that project, but I ended up doing this.
Right.
Uh,
Well, there you go.
so
You did
you know,
finish it.
yeah. So
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
But yeah. So he's definitely with me. And some of the things, he even, like I said, all these lessons. There's 15 of them, but we touched on a bunch of them. These are basically the way I've lived my life. So it's really been
Mm-hmm.
wonderful to write these messages or these wisdom points in my book or lessons, because it's everything I believe in. It's in my heart, but it's really everything that came from him.
Right.
So it's really,
Right.
really a pleasure to write this book. Yes.
Beautiful. What is the hardest one? The most difficult of the 15 to implement?
Well, I think, and touching on a couple more, because I have, I wrote a couple down because I have all 15. I don't memorize them all sometimes, but, take the mighty risks is a big one. He always said, you must go the extra mile. No one ever does it alone, and never stop moving in the directions of your dreams. I said them quickly, but these are just, again, the mantra here. But I think truly of all the 15, and we touched on a lot of them, attitude is everything really comes back to the basic one. That's really the most difficult, because how you use your attitude in life about every aspect of life is really life changing, and how you take on life. So you can be negative about everything and anything in your life, but you could turn around and stop and say, I'm going to be positive from now on. I'm going to make changes. I'm going to make my life better. I'm going to help other people. I'm going to improve my relationship with my wife or my husband or my kids. You can do it all. I'm going to work out. I'm going to get in better shape. I'm going to donate more at church. I'm going to donate my time. You know what I'm saying? I can go on and on. This is all attitude, right?
Yeah. That's the
It's
part
hard. It's
you talk
hard.
about, the choice,
Yes,
which is
and it's
our
choices.
most powerful tool in life.
Yes,
Right? What you
choice.
choose to focus on. That's what I'm always yelling at people about.
What choices you have.
Yeah.
And one of the taglines in my book is success is a choice. And that's also a very big word, very big statement to make.
Yeah,
It
let's
is a
talk
choice.
about that for a bit, because I
Yes.
use that as part of your promo to get people to tune in. So what do you mean by that? Success is a choice? Because some people will say, well, that's actually not true, because I didn't have the breaks, or I wasn't at the right place at the right time, or I wasn't born with a silver spoon, or I wasn't given the opportunity, or I'm discriminated against. So how can you say that success is a choice?
And I love everything you just said, because that's exactly where most people think. Okay. And again, same thing with me. My parents were middle income people. I started out 11 years old with a paper route, never stopped working since. Sometimes I had 2 or 3 jobs. So everyone that thinks they started out in hardship, you got people that started in mailrooms that end up being CEO of companies. Take someone like Oprah, where she started, and you obviously know Oprah well, I'm sure, from her story. So what I tell people is, you can break out of any situation in your life, or whatever situation you're brought into, that doesn't create your destiny or where you are going to be. It's up to you to make those changes. So when I say success is choice, and again, sometimes it's harder for others, there's no question about it, depending on where you are, maybe the race thing, maybe the poverty thing, it's definitely harder for others. I will not say it's not. But you can make a choice to live your life and strive for those dreams and goals every day of your life, and put the time in to get where you need to be. And that's the difference of success, the choice. Because when you get up in the morning until you go to bed at night, and how many hours you want to sleep, all these things are decisions. You make choices all day long of what you want to do to accomplish your task. Are you watching TV? Are you eating unhealthy? Are you being a negative person? I mean, these are common things. But where do you want to be in life? What do you want for yourself? What do you want to accomplish? Dreams personally, dreams professionally. Where do you want to be to make it happen? There's so much information on the web and in the libraries. There's so much. You want to be the best lawyer in the world? Well, then go online and research the heck out of it. You want to be the best artist in the world, and then learn how to be an artist. I mean, that's my point. Success is a choice, because you can choose to be successful, but that takes a lot of work, a lot of time, sacrifice, and commitment. And that's not easy for most people, because they'll give up quickly. So success is choice may sound simple, but there's a lot that goes into that. Big difference. Very big difference. That's what I mean by that.
Got it. I'm motivated. Are you?
Yeah. Yeah.
Good. Good. So when you so you get to now share this book with everybody, and sort of share your grandfather's wisdom. How does your family feel about all of this?
They feel great about it. Listen, my mother's father, they knew how, I mean, they all knew how super, super close with him, like I was.
Mm-hmm.
Every picture we've ever taken ever in his existence, I was always right next to him. Wherever we sat in a diner or restaurants, at his house, always pretty much almost on his lap. So we were inseparable, and we were really, really close, and they love it. And they're always behind me. I've always worked hard to excel at life, and say that humbly. I've worked very hard my whole life to really excel in whatever I'm doing. And to give this message and this story a life and put it out there now, it's really amazing. They're really, really happy about it. And everyone knew him. He was the smile on people's faces when they just say his name. He was just such a happy, happy guy, always laughing, always having jokes, and just enjoyed life, just a joyful person,
Beautiful.
So they do love it. They're happy about it.
Yeah. And his name is quite a mouthful. That's why you call him Charlie, right? So what's his full name?
Yeah. Well, Haralabos, which is really, his Greek name, Pisto is really the name in Greek, but Charlie Pistis, the English name is Charlie, and Pistis is really his last name. So just Charlie to most people. He was Papu to me, which was Greek, grandfather in Greek.
But say the whole thing, because I didn't even want to try.
Haralabos Pistis.
Okay.
Haralabos means Charlie in Greek.
Beautiful.
That's a long one.
It is. Yeah. And I know that he's up there with my dad. And I had this dream once that they're all like up there with a huge big screen TV, and they are, watching our lives. And every once in a while they'll cheer when things happen.
Right,
yeah. Because I believe life is eternal. And, my daughter said that she really believes that my dad was there with her in the accident. And that he was the one that helped her out of the car. That's what she said. That was pretty cool. Yeah. So, my heart. So any other pearls of wisdom before we've got a little bit more time before I ask you your last question?
Yeah, I just think the other thing I want to touch on is, and I mentioned this before, be awake and alive to the suffering of others, help others, we don't do it alone. These are all some lessons in there. Never do it alone. People around you in life, the more people you help, the better life is. It feels good to help people, whether it means simple things like opening a door or smiling at people just, to be nice or to help them out. If someone drops something, pick it up, or even in traffic, letting someone in. I mean, it starts with the basic part of life.
Whoa. Let's not get too far there.
Yeah, right. Yeah. California. Yeah. But just basically just being, just start with the basics in life. But I think for everybody, my message, I've hit it hard a couple of times, is that I urge everyone, if there's something in your life you want to change, a lot of people always want to get healthier or eat better. Then just start doing that. I mean, it's just start somewhere. You can't break down your life in every different bucket and say, I'm going to change everything today. Just start with one piece at a time. And that's all I can encourage someone to do, is write down on a list of everything you'd want to accomplish in life, or where you want to be in life, what you want out of life, right?
There's some people, though, that will say, I don't want to dream because it'll be worse if I dream, because if it doesn't come true, it's even worse. Like, if I didn't have the dream in the first place, there's nothing to be disappointed from. So What do you say to people that say that?
I love that one too. I like stepstones, little stepping blocks for the dream. So what I tell people is, for dreams and goals, start with you always want to have the lofty one. I want that one, that high level one, the high watermark one. That's the biggie. Yeah. But have steps to go along the way. That's where the breakdown is. So where do you want to get to first, and make them achievable? Have milestones. And they always tell you too, when you accomplish that one goal, that's why I want to have the big one, because when you accomplish your goals, you want to always have another one right after that. You want to be always working towards something. So I tell people, almost like a business plan, have a business plan for life, in every area of life. You can have 10 different plans, and have stepping stones and achieve those and work to the next one. But listen, it's like a puzzle in life. You want to accomplish things, you got to make it happen, put it together, put the plan in place. Right. That's the difference.
Right. Cool. There you have it. There's a solution.
Right.
No excuses. Beautiful. So the last question that I always ask my guests is, who or what, and you can't say your grandfather because you already covered that like through the whole show. Yeah. Oh my God. So we want to give somebody else a little credit. Yeah. Who or what, and it does come on the heels of you've said it a few times, but we haven't elaborated. You say, don't do it alone. Don't do it alone. Don't do it alone. So who or what are you most grateful for, and why can't we do it alone? Because I'll tell you that a lot of us recovering overachievers or perfectionists, we can do it. Like, don't, when my daughter, who is, very much like me, and we were just laughing about it a day before the accident. And when I first talked to the nurse and I said, ask her, do you want your mom to fly out now? And she said, and I can't say this because it's FCC, it's going to go on Saturday to my NBC News, but she said, blank, no.
Oh,
Okay. Right. And I could hear it because she's so independent and and that's the lesson she's learning. She called me this morning and she's like, I'm not, I'm having a hard time. Da, da, da. I don't want to ask for help. Da, da, da. And it's like, well, that's part of your lesson in this. And it's a tough one. Why can't we do it alone?
Well, the fact of that lesson is that there's people all around us in life that have helped us to get where we are in life, whether it was that boss or that one break or that person that hired you or family or friends. So the never do it alone means it's not just you. You look at your life, a lot of people have impacted your life. So the message was always about be aware of people that have helped you and be cognizant of that, be thankful, but also give that back and know who's around you, who you can help. So it's always about never do it alone, meaning both sides, and very, very important to keep that in mind.
Great.
And people need to understand that. And that's a simple message in life as well. And to parlay this into who's been other, mentors or in my life who's helped me. My mother and my father really have been great mentors in their own way. My mother was the driving force of you can be anything you want in life. You're going to be successful. You could be the president of the United States. My dad was, my dad owned a beauty salon, and he was a man that would be concerned with spending time with his family and, not driving to work, in the 7 days a week, 12, 15 hours a day. He was all about having time with your kids and your family, take time off, have a self-employment kind of job so you have that flexibility.
Beautiful.
So I had the balance for both of them, and then my grandfather. But I think the positive, and this is where the powerful part is, the positive influence you have on your children about positive, you can do this, you can do that, you look great, don't ever talk down about yourself, don't say you can't do this, that positive power. I wish every teacher and mentor and guidance counselor and parent would understand that's how simple life is.
Yeah.
It's a positivity of that nature, of that positive attitude. I can do anything. My brain is a machine. Our brains are a machine or a computer.
Yeah.
If you focus on positivity, it's a powerful message for your life and your body. And that's the point I like to bring home, because that's what I had my whole life. A lot of just the empowerment of that.
Right. Beautiful. Thank you so much. That is a great way to end this fabulous episode of Motivating from Marc Demetriou. And pick up your copy for the holidays for gifts of Lessons from My Grandfather. And that's at all the places, plus lessonsfrommygrandfather.com. Yes?
Yeah, actually, grandfatherlessons.com is a real great site. Has a lot of stuff on there.
It's easier.
And on Amazon, it's an easy way to just type it in. It comes right up on Amazon. That's the easiest way.
Beautiful. Thank you so much, Marc.
Thank you so much for having me, Dr. Marissa. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Absolutely.
It's a pleasure.
And it is time at the end of the show when I invite you to come out and balance with me at my balance bar. And I'm inviting you actually to Nashville, November the 10th. I am having my very first Books A Million bookstore book signing. I'm actually warming up for the Harry Potter event that day. So 12 to 2 on November 10th, Saturday. If you'd like to also attend my red carpet that Morgan James, my publisher, is doing for 8 Ways to Happiness from Wherever You Are. Those of you who don't know already, it hit its 6th best-selling category 10 days ago and hit number 1. So very grateful for that. If you'd like to come and celebrate with me in Nashville, let me know and we'll get some tickets for you. I'll also be on the TV Friday, October the 19th. Is that this Friday? That's this Friday. Oh, my goodness. Season 3, Episode 8 debuts on Cox and YourView and Time Warner Spectrum for Asian Voices. And if you are anywhere in the San Diego area, you can not only watch that, but you can come support Asian media. I'm on the advisory board, thanks to Kathleen Choi. Friday, November 30th, we're having our annual fundraiser, and you can nominate someone who has contributed to the Asian community in media. Hint, 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 wink, wink. Actually, I don't even know if I qualify because I'm on the advisory board. I was supposed to find out before I announced that. But we're having our awards gala for over 250 guests at the Encore Event Center in San Diego. If you go there and put in happiness 18, you will get discount Asian Oprah giveaway for that event. And I am also, I think that is all that I have for the Balance Bar. Next week, we will have another scintillating episode of Take My Advice. I'm not using it. Get balanced with Dr. Marissa Pay. That's P for positive. Again, thanking all of you, all 1,100 and something on my social media for all of the prayers, all of the well wishes, just knowing that that really made a difference. And I just wanted to say shesha to you. We'll see you next week. Remember, it's all about balance. Peace in and peace out. That's world peace through inner peace.